And none of this stuff ever happened in the 70s and 80s when I first started it. You got a call from your closing attorney, they said this is how much you need to bring. You went to the bank, you got a check, you came to closing, you signed everything, you went home, had a nice life, and moved into your new house, and everything was fine. Now it's getting scarier and scarier. There are people out there whose job it is to separate you from your medic. And it used to be really easy because you could, open up an email, you got a notice from some African barrister or some prince or somebody died and you were chosen as their beneficiary. And it's, common sense would tell you, you look at this and you go, well, where did you get my name? Where did you get my information? Why me? How did I all of a sudden inherit $5 million from somebody I've never heard of? Now, and it used to be really easy to spot the scam because the grammar was really bad, the sentence structure was really bad. They're getting better. They're getting better. They're still living in their mother's basement in some other country, but they're getting better at what they do. And so now their job is to separate you from your medic. So let me tell you a terrible story. In June of 2017, Lori Sattler prepared to sell her Manhattan apartment. She received an email from someone she believed to be her attorney requesting that she send money to an account. Following the instructions, Sattler wired nearly $1.1 million to that account. The funds were diverted to the Commerce Bank of China, never to be returned. Sattler was not just a home seller. She is also a New York State Supreme Court judge. It may surprise you to learn a public figure with an advanced legal experience could fall victim to an email phishing attack. Cybercrime targeting real estate transactions has become a serious threat to anyone involved in the sale or purchase of a home. Virtually everyone, from someone with the legal expertise like Judge Sattler to an administrative professional in a small one-county title shop, can be a target for a cyber criminal. Each player in the transaction has the power to allow fraud to occur or prevent it from happening. So I'm going to skip to the end, and I'm going to tell you that number one, if you ever get, and this is if you're buying a house, selling a house, if you think you want to be an investor, or if you know someone who is, this is information that we all need to pass on to everybody. If you get an email asking for money to be wired, number one, always be suspicious. And number two, nobody will fault you for calling to confirm it. Okay? This, many of you are younger than me, this is an Instagram, Facebook, Google tracking device. I am very old. This is a telephone. This is, you dial a number, you pick it up, and you talk to a live person. If you think you get an email from me, and you call me, and you ask me, did you really send me this email? Do you really need me to wire this money? I'm going to say, yes, of course, and thank you for checking. Or I'm going to say, oh my God, thank you for checking. This was a big mistake. Somebody scammed us. Realtors, mortgage lenders, closing attorneys, we are all vulnerable, but you as a buyer or a seller or an investor, you guys are unfortunately on the short end of the stick. So I've given you a couple of handouts. It can happen to you. This pretty much lets you know where where the problems are happening and how they're happening. This second one talks about a couple of court cases. They have not yet been decided yet, but these are buyers that have been scammed. Their money has disappeared, and they're now suing the title companies, the closing attorneys, the mortgage lenders, and the realtors because we should have told you. It was up to us, and again, these cases have not been decided yet. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But if your realtor and your mortgage lender are not advising you, then you're going to be in a bad place, and we don't want that to happen. Most of the time, they're capitalizing on the scammers are capitalizing on your distractedness. And what you'll find from this last article, this just came in it was from last year, but I just found it last week, from Housing Wire, and I kind of highlighted what I thought were the relevant parts. It'll walk you through pretty much step by step over a span of about 2 weeks. What happened to this guy? He decided to buy a property. 2 weeks later, his money was gone. And what happened step by step, and things that happened along the way that started to send up a red flag, should have sent up a red flag, but didn't. And so this is kind of a life lesson where you can read his story and see if these scenarios ever come up in your day-to-day business dealings, what you can happen. But the one thing that does that I did highlight on WAC here is that they're counting on you being distracted. They're counting on you getting an email. They're sending you an email that says, you need to get this done right away. And think about it. I mean, I'm looking at Carolyn with her baby. Think about you've got a baby on your hip, you get a phone call, you get an email, and they say, you need to wire this money or you're going to be delaying closing. And without even blinking, you're grabbing your bag, you're throwing the baby in the car seat, you're running to the bank because you don't want to be responsible for delaying closing.